G'day, legends. How the bloody hell are ya? What a day it is. Champions again. Gotta love it. Hope you're all, a few of you nursing some sore heads over in Scotland. Rest of us having some celebratory drinks and talking absolute rubbish on a podcast. So, for probably the first time in the history of the Celtic Down Under podcast, we're doing a show without a run sheet, without anything, because it's going to be the most smug and glorious podcast that we've ever done on this channel. So, we'll start off with how you doing, Willie.
I'm just champion, mate. Absolute top of the world today. It's been a great day.
Jared, how you doing?
It hasn't really hit me yet. I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, which is very early. Watched the game, had a quick nap, went to work, finished work. Now I'm here, and I'm like, oh, that's right, there was a game this morning. So, it really hasn't hit me yet. But it was a good game.
Yep. And Dan, how you doing?
Yeah, just been walking on air all day. That combination of being tired from being up at 4:30 in the morning and just tremendous performance and 3 in a row locked in. It's just a wonderful feeling.
Is it too soon to start the Brendancy for 10 in a row song or what?
No, I was singing at halftime this morning, to be fair.
I'm just getting distracted watching Jared's dog with the green light in the background. It's pretty funny, all things considered.
But just wait afterwards when I put on the red light.
Oh no, here we go. Here we go. Not even in the safe zone yet.
I know.
Hey, I didn't swear.
No, good fun. Yeah, so Willie, I'll start off with you. I'll bring up the starting lineup and then I'll just go and I'll get your thoughts on the first half. And then we'll just go around, so Willie, Dan, Jared, back to me, and we'll go from there. So starting lineup with Joe Hart in goals. Alistair Johnson recovered from his knock on the weekend well enough to play with Carter Vickers, Scales and Taylor. I actually said on Monday that I thought Ralston would probably start there. Thought there'd be a question mark on him there. And then O'Reilly, Hatade, McGregor in the midfield, and then Forrest, Mader and Ida up front. So the big change was Kyogo on the bench, Ida starting. So Willie, what was your thoughts on the first half?
I thought the first half was a fantastic spectacle of football. We just played some seriously good stuff out there. The way the players, the midfield, and were just interlinking, changing positions, just dragged the Kilmarnock defenders all over the shop. Derek McInnes likes to play a man-marking system, and when your man's moving to different positions in the pitch, it gets difficult for you to track who you're meant to be. It's difficult you follow who you're meant to be tracking. So, and it showed when we were in 3-0 at half-time. I thought Ida was just on fire. He was dropping deep, pulling defenders with him. He was picking the ball up with his back to goal, turning them, and it was a great first half of football. Some of the passes that we were making, little balls in around the corners between the defensive midfielder and the fullbacks, where Johnson made it overlap onto. It was great, just spectacular football for me.
Yeah, so I'll just jump in before we go to you, Dan. But for me, this is the last two games in particular is the sort of football that we've known this squad has been capable of, and they're finally peaking and getting it. And you're starting to actually see patterns where, okay, in this situation, fullback overlaps and the winger inverts. In this situation, the fullback cover comes in and you let Jamesy go to the byline, you let Kun go to the byline, you let Mader do his thing out left. So it's starting to look like there's actually a plan out there, which we've been missing a lot of the season. So I've really enjoyed the last two games, and yeah, it's good to see the boys getting out there and clicking in the gear at the right time of the year. Dan, what was your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, very similar to both of you guys. Willie said it. I thought Adam Ida was just phenomenal. He's a real good old-fashioned centre forward. He's direct. He's got more pace than I think you credit him for when you look at him. It's his 8th goal since coming to the club in January. I think he's been a tremendous addition. I've made no secret of that, and I was pumped to see him get the opportunity this morning. I thought it was good that we had the ability to change things up and bring in a different sort of attacking threat to start and sort of counter, as Willie said, the man marking that Derek McInnes likes to implement. not so much on a downer, but it's going to hurt when he leaves. You reminded this morning so much of just how good Matt O'Reilly is. He was phenomenal. His football brain is just, it's probably the best in Scotland, and it's right up there in Britain, to be honest. He's got vision, he's got the creativity, his technique is top shelf. He was just a joy to watch, and I think 2 well-earned goals. I think that's 5 in the last 3 games for him now. So he's just been so instrumental. One terrible penalty aside, but he ran the show this morning.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into Matt O'Reilly a bit later on and what we think will happen long term. But yeah, Jared, let's get your thoughts on the first half, and then you can also lead us into the second half.
All right. The first half I thought was great. I think I even mentioned in the group chat, I was like, the last couple of months, this is where we need to start next season. Feels like the season was a little bit ebb and flow, but just the last couple of months have just been like, the intensity has been there. Like, everyone seems to be on the same page. It doesn't matter who's on the field either. Everything just fits together, and it's been amazing. I'm going to go against Willie and Dan, and I'm going to say, like, I watched the first half and I wasn't overly impressed by Ida. Like, he got the goal, but there was a couple of times where he got the ball with his back to goal and he could have turned and there was space, and he didn't. There's a few times where he kind of held the ball up, and I was watching him going, hey, this is his time to shine. But it seemed like the more time he had on the ball and the more time he had to think, the worse decisions he would make. There was one where he was running down, there was no one there, and he was like, oh crap, what do I do? Do I pass it? Is there someone to pass it to? Do I take a shot? Do I do this? And then it was just a wasted possession. I'm not saying he was bad. I'm just saying I wasn't blown away by him. His goal was great, one touch, but when he has to think about it, I think he sometimes overthinks it. Matt O'Reilly, amazing. I'm wearing my Matt O'Reilly jersey. It's on the back.
Twirl around. Give us a twirl.
Dance, boy, dance.
You just didn't believe me, did you? You're just like, prove it. You could say anyone's name's on the back of that.
Yeah, I've got my Barkas jersey on now.
But yeah, I thought it was great. Like, it wasn't the starting lineup I thought they were going to go with, but that's good because I didn't know Johnson was that healthy. I thought, oh, maybe rest him a little bit. Maida, like, he looked tired by the end of the last game. I thought, oh, maybe they'll rest him a little bit. Nope, didn't. He went. Like, just shows how little we actually know. We just assume when we sit here freaking watching what's going on. But manager made some good choices. And leading into the second half, we kind of dipped a little bit. And that's when Brendan showed his worth, and just, it was like a hockey change. Just whole front line, just change the whole front line. And it just felt like our energy jumped back up again. And that was really good to see. Yeah, you can have your own opinion. Like, I didn't say he was bad. I was just looking at a few things, and all I could say is, like, there was a couple of times where the play was building up and then he kind of just killed it off a little bit. But like, he does other things that are very good in the game. I wouldn't be like, oh, he was the best, he's the greatest. But then Kyogo came in the second half and just tried to, like, yeah, he was crap. Actually, I'm going to say Kyogo had a couple of chances to set up goals or something, and he forced it. Like, what about the one where he got the ball, turns around, he's got his back to goal, there's 2 people wide open, and instead of just passing it to one of them, he's like, no, I'm going to do a fucking 360 and try and get I passed 360 and takes it straight into freaking nothing. What was that? He done that multiple times, and I think it's because, Ida starts, so now I need to prove myself by... Ida was the better striker today than Kyogo, but Kyogo just stunk it up.
I'm going to jump in. I'm going to jump in there.
Comments there.
I'm going to jump in there, Jared, because one of my points about Ida, I thought he played was one of his better overall games for us. But what I thought was, as you said, when he had time and space, he seemed iffy, and that was something I noticed as well. But when he doesn't have time to think, and it's not just this game, it's also it's happened in other games. When he has time and space, he's not the smartest. Doesn't make the smartest decisions. That's why I said on a podcast probably a month or so ago, he's like Moussa Dembele from Wish. He's serviceable for us in Scotland. He does the job, but I'm happy with the performance level we've been getting out of him.
Well, that's what Pete McGee just made a comment, if you want to bring that up. He said, I'm nitpicking. Yeah. Like, when you get to this level, like, that's how good we are. We're not going, oh, everyone was terrible. It's let's nitpick and go, oh, how can this person just get a little bit better? And that's like you're saying, Jared, get some space. He just needs to make a little bit of better decision. And I think because he hasn't had as much time on the field, I think when the attacking did go through him, it just slowed down just a little bit. But yeah, I'm nitpicking because I want us to be so much better next year. And I am not saying don't sign Ida for next year. I think we should sign him. But it's good to see these little bits and pieces that he can get better. And fucking yay.
And as Pete's saying here, I agree with you, Pete. That what I've said can be coached out of him 100%. And I hope it does get coached out of him. And I hope we keep him long term. But I don't have the highest hopes for that because, we don't have an actual agreed fee on it. But anyway, we'll go to you, Willie, for your thoughts on the second half. And we'll crack on away from Jared so the comments don't kill him too much here.
Yeah, second half was just more of the same in the first half. It was just complete domination and possession. We just took the ball, kept it, rolled it around and passed it around expertly. And some of the goals were scored in the second half. I mean, the one from O'Reilly, it was a corner, I think, came in and it just sort of ricocheted around the box. And Hattati ended up having a dig at goal, which sort of bounced out. And Forrest just sort of set it up perfectly for Matt O'Reilly. And it just unleashed a sexy shot straight past the goalkeeper, like from the edge of the box. It was unbelievable to watch. Like,
Hey, Willie, what's sexy, that petrol station or that goal?
That goal, like, I don't know, a petrol station. That goal in a petrol station, with it going in past the door and that one.
There's a lot of sexiness in petrol stations, as we've.
Yeah. But I just thought O'Reilly just came into his own in that second half, and his quality just shone through. I mean, he could really have been out there with a pair of slippers on and a cigar in his mouth and still strolled it. Like, it was just his second goal, a quick counter up the pitch. Kuhn laid it off to him, and he just pushed it past the keeper, just away from him into the bottom corner. So second half was just as good as the first half. It's good to see the players coming off the bench and getting a start. Players like Kuhn and that, like, so a bit of squad rotation. But in the second half, sort of like you say, it was just champions elect. It was just really strolling around and being champions and enjoying the occasion.
And Dan, over to you.
Yeah, look, obviously I take any minute criticism of Adam Eder very personally. I love the man. I'd adopt him if he needed a father figure. Yeah, look, I'm not going to sit here and say he's the perfect player or he had the perfect performance, but he's a guy that's come in and showed up in the big moments and did it again this morning. It could have been a nervy, as you said, we were champions elect, but it could have been a nervy start if it stayed 0-0 for any sort of period of time. Things could get a little bit testy, and we've seen earlier in the season in particular that we haven't dealt with that sort of nervy moment all that well. That's changed in the last couple of months when we put our trophy head on, I guess. But no, he put it out without doubt early, and once we scored that, it was done. The stat I did like to come out of the game was that James Tavernier signed for Rangers in 2015 when Adam Eder was 14 years old. Tavernier has played 9 seasons with the Huns and is in their Hall of Fame. Adam Eder's been in Glasgow for 105 days and they've got the same number of league winners' medals. So I did enjoy that little stat. And, if he does go and never come back, it'll be a fond memory for us and fond memories for him as a Celtic fan. Second half, I thought it was symptomatic, and Matt O'Reilly's performance today and in the last couple of weeks was, I think, symptomatic of Celtic over the whole season. Some scrappy moments, but by the time we got to the back end, class shone through. The big players stood up, and on our day, I think we proved we're not just better than the rest of the league. We're streets ahead, and that includes the other lot. And when it really matters, that's when we got the job done. And today was, I guess, a little culmination of that. A nice little stroll out. It was great to see McInnes looking pretty somber on the sideline as well. Get that right up here. And I was going to mention, but I nearly forgot. It was, for those playing at home, it was 9 minutes and 6 seconds before Gerard got his first American sports reference in. So I know that's a bingo card now with Gerard.
Wait, what did I say?
I think that's a record.
Yeah, it was some bullshit about basketball or NFL or something. I don't know.
Now you don't even know what sport it is.
I wasn't listening. Couldn't give a fuck, mate. That's the first F word. Sorry. Yeah, good performance. Job done. One league game to go where we can have a bit of fun, and one more game we absolutely have to win.
Come on, Dan. Jared got you with the first F word 7 minutes ago. Get with the program.
Did he? I didn't even hear it. I'm normally waiting for. I'm sorry. I've got too much petrol station on the brain, I think.
So I'll bring up some comments here. RL77, and then we won the league, which was nice. Jerry Burns, it's a grand old team to play for. John Cairns is saying, I think O'Reilly is gone. Ida will stay. We need an animal central attacking midfielder and a Virgil van Dijk type centre back. Hate them or not, there is a reason they made a European final and expect more from Celtic based off that. Then we get Patrick saying, I think I'd like Ida to stay now. And he was saying O'Reilly's strolling the league 100%. Peg leg champions again, LA. And then we got similar here from Mickey. And then we'll just scroll through. Forget Ida, there's a lad called Vinicius Jr. Do we have enough money in our cap there, sitting there to get his buyout fee? We'll just keep scrolling through here. Mahesh is saying Mielski's quicker than Ida. In fact, he's quicker than the entire Celtic back line and more mobile, and Celtic will probably get him for less than Ida. Better brain than Ida. I knew you in that camp before. As soon as I saw it there, Mahesh. Pegleg, that performance last night was like Ange and his pomp. Not like Ange cracking it at fans for wanting his team to lose. There's levels to this shit, and Spurs are a Diddy club. John Cairns, we need investment. I'm not worried about the Scottish League. We need to be better in the Champions League. Here's one for you, boys. Do you think Rodgers is the manager next season? I know it's early to be doing this. For me, yes.
I don't even know why that's a question. Like, he's under contract and he seems to be getting everything he wants.
I look at it and go, if he was in the same position he was in and Mark Lawwell hadn't left the club and the other bloke hadn't left the club and we weren't fixing things behind the scenes in a way that he's wanting, and then I think Rodgers probably would be like, all right, job done, see you later, I'll go elsewhere. But he came in wanting to be here for the whole 3 years of his contract, and he's getting what he wants behind the scenes and the setup that he wants. So I can't see him not being the manager.
Yeah, 100%. There was, some concern at some points in the season when it really felt like the tension behind the scenes was going to force a move one way or the other, but it seems forgotten now. We got what we needed to get. We banked the big money, and I have to have some optimism that the board will back him. I don't know whether I'm just being naive or not, but I feel like there has to be some level of investment moving forward. And I mean, it's hard to say because we did spend money in the last couple of transfer windows, but we spent what, 8 mil on Narochki and fucking Lagerbielke. So we also need to spend better. So
at the end of the day, Dan, the way I see it is the level of investment isn't about the total amount spent. It's about what we're spending on and the level of player we're recruiting. And as I said, like on another pod, if we get 4 players or 5 players in that £8 million range, we're going to have 60 odd million coming in for Champions League. We've already got a heap of cash there. We're going to have O'Reilly getting sold, and there's going to be a bidding war for him. So we're going to be looking at a club record for him. So you're going to be looking probably north of 30 million. You've got the Abada money sitting there. When you put all that together, I know Jared doesn't care about the financial stuff, and I can see him just getting the head wobbles over there while we're doing this. But you put all that together, just off the O'Reilly and the Abada money, and then we'll get a sell on Frimpong as well if he moves. Just off that, we're going to have close on 50 million easy to spend, right? So there's those 4 or 5 players of 8 to 10 million that I'm talking about, which will come straight into the first team lineup for Europe, and mean whoever's in our team at the moment drops to the bench and strengthens the squad overall. That's what we need to do. We don't need to be bringing in 9 players of £2 to £3 million a pop. That's the way we're going to have to attack this over the off-season. And I think Rodgers will get his way this time around. Call me naive, but it has to happen.
No, I agree. I don't know why, but I've got a feeling that they're going to spend like they haven't for the last 20 years this season. Also, I heard a rumor today Frimpong may not even be leaving. I think they want to keep him. But that's a rumor that I heard from I don't even know where.
I just loved his tweet today where he was like, yep, both champions.
Oh, my days.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to find another comment I was going to bring up. So, yeah, just get in the comments and let us know if you've got any other questions or anything that you want to talk about. Chuck it in there and we'll get to it as well on this episode. So, Tom Mack, there it is. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you tomorrow. I won't miss you. Remember that Sevio's going bust. There we go. We'll see what happens there. They already spent most of the summer's thing there. Pete McGee.
That's what yeah.
Celtic women are also on course to win their league on Sunday. Get it done, girls.
Didn't they win 3-1 against Hearts this morning as well? Or yesterday, or whatever it was?
Yep. 1 game left of the season, and if they win, they're champions. They've got a vastly, I think there's 13 or 14 goals ahead of Rangers, maybe 15 now after results last night. So
very nice.
Yep. So what I was just saying there about Rodgers, we've got the AR saying unless the board pisses him off for being manager. Pete McGee saying BR guaranteed he'd be with us for 3 years. Smell the gloves saying depends if Loyal interferes with recruitment. That can't be allowed to happen. And then we've got here Michael McDonald. The dangers of the board get complacent again and don't spend enough. I want us to have, we've got the foot on their throat. Just stomp down. Get it done. Yeah, so what else we got here? Yeah, so Willie, I have a pretty simple question for you. Celtic TV. I'm going to bring up something because this is a picture. I hope you don't mind me sharing it. Did you enjoy seeing the first goal?
No, I never got to see I didn't get to see the first goal of this game. Celtic TV cut out 3 times during the first half of the game last night, and I also missed the opening goal on a large a 5-minute spell of the Celtic Rangers game as well. I'm pretty pissed off with Celtic TV. I'm spending upwards of $300 here for a fucking inadequate service. I am pretty fucking angry with it, because I'm paying good money for a service I'm not getting. It's like paying for a season ticket and then being sat right behind a pillar somewhere. Just you don't see any of the game whatsoever. It's just pointless. You know what I mean? I'd rather, I'd probably get more success if I went on to one of that dodgy stream sites and just close the adverts every 3 minutes. It's pathetic.
Just remember though, there are a lot of people in the world who pay money for season tickets and go to Ibrox for 18 home games every season. So.
They probably wish they had the one behind the pillar.
And they miss a lot of goals as well.
No, it's a terrible service. It really is poor for the money we spend on it. It's just they don't give a fuck either. It's just like I just push that out there and let them go with it. Like, and if they don't like it, then fucking tough. And that's kind of the attitude I get off them now. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, they know you don't have alternatives, right? Like,
Yeah.
they know you're probably going to pay it unless you want to rely on beIN Sports carrying the Celtic game every week, which is not always feasible, and or as you said, the old dodgy streams. So,
But
I mean-
if you want, for you, Dan, here's another American sports equivalent. What we pay for just Celtic, for all the American sports like the NFL and basketball, you pay almost the same and you get every single game for every team. So we're paying that for one team, and it doesn't even include like Europe or any of those sorts of games. So then you have to pay additional fees on top of that to watch those games.
Yeah, I've had Jared. I've said before, like for me, I would happily pay for Celtic TV again if it worked. I'm one of those,
Yeah.
I'll admit, illegal stream CSC people, and I'd rather do that. And the reason for it is that, as you're saying, all you get is the game and you get no pregame or everything. Like, I would rather have it so if Celtic TV had the B team games on there, the women's games on there, and then it had pre and post game stuff for the men's team, and then it also had a like on this day sort of thing, and they just play an old game or something like that, and then you can go on and you can watch some. So if I get home from work and there's nothing that I want to watch, oh, sweat, I'm going to watch Henrik Larsson play. I haven't seen a game of his, been played in ages. I would do that, and I would happily pay for that. But for the, as you're saying, Jared, the same money I can get NBA TV and watch every single team, 82 games a season for every single team. So weigh it up.
And like I think Mahesh just said, for Optus Sport is $25 a month, and you get every single EPL game. Like what? Like I'd pay $25 a month just for Celtic games, like if they worked. That's the issue. It's like as long as it works. I used to have KO, and if it was on beIN Sports on KO, I'd watch it there. I wouldn't even bother turning on Celtic TV, even though I had paid the $300 for it. I only went there if I had to. But now beIN Sports is not on KO, so that's another $25 for maybe a game every few weeks. But yeah, anyway,
Just not worth it. So I think it's time for the smugness to come into the podcast, and I'm going to bring up a bunch of, if it hasn't already come through for anyone with those Huntiers. So we'll start off with tonight's thumbnail, because we all love a bit of that stuff.
ah, yeah.
Now this one, this one's for you, Willie.
That's my van.
oh, sexy.
Actually, yeah, there's a petrol station.
How good's this? Now I got to ask you: if you were to ask me, looking at this, who are each of these players? There's three on there straight away. I'm like, okay, who are you?
Is James
Can you
McCarthy
name
in
all-
there? Or did they drop him from that picture too? Like,
Surely he's
No,
on there.
Everyone is on there. I went through and looked at it this morning, and I was like looking at the people just to see who was on it, and yeah, everyone is on there. Even the people who haven't played and people who maybe had played one game.
Yeah, I was
Did
looking
Nat
at it.
McCarthy's
Did
not
Nat
in there,
Phillips
is he?
make it? Did Nat Phillips make it? Surely.
Oh no, I didn't see Nat Phillips. No,
Where's Burnaby?
Rip off.
Bernabe's on there, bottom
There
left.
he is in the bottom left.
Yeah.
And then you've got
Where's
his name?
McCarthy?
Seacrest.
Lagerfeld up the top
James
there.
McCarthy's not in there. Like,
Yeah, well, the other hasn't hit the field this season, has he?
that's a shame. Poor James.
Who's that top
Yeah.
left?
He's one of our
Underneath
longest
the
serving
Welsh.
players.
That's Welsh, top left.
Yeah, under Welsh, above Palmer, on the outside on the left there. Who's that one?
Is that
Is that one of the young
Kelly?
kids? Is that Kelly or
Dan
Frame?
Kelly?
Kelly
I think
or
it's Dan
Frame?
Kelly.
Ah, it's Kelly.
Yeah.
I can't see. I'm just going off memory. I'm pretty sure it was Dan Kelly.
I'm not
Fair
sure.
enough.
Is it?
Looks like he's celebrating a goal, so probably it's him.
So we had that one. This I just had to bring up. All that. If looks could kill, there you go. Now
What a
there's
day he had, huh?
There you go. That was for Shanklin, wasn't it, Willie?
If somebody could see Lawrence Shannon, tag him in that, please.
That also works for this bloke too. Look at that.
Yeah.
Have you got the one of him sitting up on the gantry with his back to the celebrations?
Don't have that one here. This one
Sam
was
is on. That's pathetic, like, isn't it?
love this from Paddy Power. Rangers dethroned as champions only a month after winning the title with their 3-3 draw at Ibrox. And then
Smell
the
the
last,
glove makes a good point, though, mate. I didn't see Tilio in that graphic either.
yeah, fair point.
I don't think they had one of them in the jersey.
I think he only played in the away jersey.
They couldn't get the They couldn't get the
Nah, he
scarf.
played at home, right? Was it Hibs?
Yeah.
He came on against Hibs in the home game, man.
Yeah, maybe. I don't fucking remember. It's
Fair enough.
They've
There you
probably-
go. As
they've probably
Robert's
forgot.
saying, it's like Celtic, where's Wally? And then I've got a couple other things you said early on about Brendan. So we bring this up. We got Brendan heard us calling in the night. BR Rogers the rat. He's back into the green section by the looks of it because he's delivered on what he said. And this one you sent through just before the pod there. So the Brendan Rogers apology form. To Brendan Rogers from Celtic Twitter member, the date, reason for behaviour. The media convinced me Brendan was finished. I have daddy issues over the fat Australian. Hey, you don't have daddy issues over me, okay? I was jealous of Brendan's teeth. I contracted the word blind virus. I don't know. Mercury was in retrograde. I hereby respect Brendan and will not talk down a future first ballot Hall of Famer. Had to bring it up because I thought it was quite funny because there's a whole bunch of people who went off half-cocked. And I was never a fan of him coming back, but I've always been back in the team. So, yeah, he's done the job. He's done the business. So, well done, Brendan, and the whole coaching staff.
Yeah, I disagree. I think he did have a bit of a dip, just like everyone this season, but it doesn't matter where you start, it's where you finish. And as long as it's all over Rangers tits, good on you. That's for you, Dan.
I don't finish anywhere but petrol stations, mate.
If anyone's struggling to keep up with this joke, go on Twitter and Google petrol stations trending.
I was really saying, I hope there's a lot of people in the comments who are like,
listen, I put that in the Thursday only group chat in case I offended anyone in the overall one. Like, you know, I was just like, this is a bit naughty.
If you pull the curtain back, we have like a CDU chat, which is generally fairly serious, and then we have just a Thursday night chat where it's this in text
loose.
It is loose as it's the nicest way to sum it up. It gets a little bit out there, but what do you expect when you've got, Dan and Willie in it?
I'm glad it wasn't just me.
Yeah, Dan and Willie. Settle down.
Shut up, Dan. Had to.
Did you see me Easter egg for you yet, or what?
I spotted it. You're lucky your house isn't ablaze yet. Good fun. Yeah, so
yeah, but Dan's ablaze.
He's flaming.
Well, when you're as hot as me and you hang around petrol stations. Last one.
Yeah.
So, Matt O'Reilly, we mentioned it early on. I think the talking point on that is we're saying if he's going to move on, where will it be? What's going to happen? So, yeah, I just want to get the general feel. We'll start with you, Jared, with Remy right there as well. We'll get Remy's opinion as well. O'Reilly, is this his last season at Celtic? And if he is, what sort of coin do you think we'd get for him? And what do you think we need to be looking for to replace him? Because he's probably the best midfielder in the whole of Scotland.
Look, I said this on my channel last night. I really don't want to lose him. And I think we now kind of have... We've got the coin to pay some fees, but there's 2 top 6 English Premier League clubs after him, and if you want money, top 6 English Premier teams is where the money is. So, like, I think they could pay an extra 10 mil on top of like some other leagues. So I think 30 minimum, 40 maximum, probably 35. I don't think 30 to 35 is probably what we could get from a top 6 English Premier League club. If we're not, then can we keep him, Mum? Like, can we keep him?
So realistically, the clubs that are linked with him, you've got the 2 Milan sides, you've got Atletico Madrid, and then you've got what was it? Who was it down in England again?
They never said. They just said 2 top 6 teams. No one was actually mentioned.
Let's be honest, it won't be Spurs because of the way he basically kicked Ange and with the shit he was saying about him on the way out. So it won't be Spurs. So that rules them out. It'll be a
Aston
perfect
Villa,
sort of
probably.
Chelsea signing because they just stockpile players, but I don't think he'd go there. So they rule them out. He wouldn't end up at Man City. So who's that leave? Arsenal.
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa, Arsenal.
Villa would make sense for
I could see him go
Champions
to
League.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
Man United as well, possibly.
They're not top 6 anymore.
Oh, there you go. Smiley
They're
got
not
West
top 6, but
Spurs were mentioned. Villa would be a good one for him. I think I agree with you, Robert. If he goes to Italy, it would suit him best in terms of the speed of the game, what type of the technical ability he's got. But are we going to do the right thing by him and send him to where it suit him best, or are we going to go saying, "Give us all the cash"?
I mean, obviously,
Both.
I've got no idea this happened, but I reckon there's every chance the club's gone to him in January when they knock back the Madrid offer. See out the rest of the season, get us over the line, win us trophies, and we'll not stand in your way on the way out at the back end of the season. So I think he's gone, but we'll get. I don't know if we'll get 30, but we'll get 20 plus comfortably.
I'm looking at it going,
No,
we've got to
30.
break through that. We've got to break through that 25 barrier, which is our record. So be wanting 30. Now I'm going to look at it this way, Robert. I'm going to grab your comment here. If McCarthy goes, we're just as blessed. I'd say to everyone, okay, you want him, we want 40 for him, or you can have him for 35 plus McCarthy, just to get him off out of the club.
And Seagrass too. Throw a keeper in.
Yeah, all the ones that are in their carpool gang that never play but just drive to games and training together. Send a lot of them there. Willie, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking the opening bid start at 30 million, and we'll listen to any offers over that. And it's up to him; it's his choice. And I totally agree with what Dan said there. I reckon they've reached out to him and says, stick it out for the next 6 months. Just ignore Atletico Madrid's offers right now, and then the world's your oyster. We won't stand in your way as long as we get a reasonable bid for you, and that reasonable bid would be over 30 million. We won't stand in your way, and you can move to wherever you want. And I think that's the way it will pan out. Right? And we are going to miss him. He is an incredibly talented footballer. He makes that game look so easy. He doesn't seem like he's running anywhere. He just seems to float from one area of the midfield to the other effortlessly, and it's just a joy to watch. And just we've got 2 games left with him. Just make the most of it, you know what I mean?
I'm just going to say this comment to see if Shane's watching from our Monday pod. Tom Rogic wears Matt O'Reilly pajamas. There you go.
There'll be a comment.
Shane's jumping up and down on the spot, raging right now. Isn't he?
Yeah, no, he's probably fallen over and taken a stool to the ground with him too.
But remember, Brendan did come out, and who knows how much you can read into this. He said, we don't have to sell Matt O'Reilly. I think that's just to bump his price up. But also, maybe it's if people do lowball us, or if it's a club that Matt O'Reilly was like, hey, I don't really want. It's like, if I get more money and go here, or I can get a little bit less money and stay at Celtic, keep me here and wait.
Wait 6 months, wait 12 months, whatever. And if he waits 6 months, he's going to get another, 8 games in the Champions League under his belt, and then he'll be in the shop window again. And he'd probably be one of the only, because, January window, no real big transfers happen. So if it's 6 months, he holds it off, plays his Champions League games, and then gets his big move there, he's going to go for big money in that window. So
even if he goes in the summer, he's going to at least double his wages straight away. So You know what I mean? I don't think he's money motivated. I think he is quite a screwed on guy. I think the decision he will make will be for footballing reasons, and for him, it won't be motivated by money, but it will be, like I say, he'll double his wages instantly. Like so.
Well, look at
whatever he goes for, though. I mean, a £1.5 million signing from MK Dons, like,
yeah,
brilliant signing.
I put that in the same boat as the Wanyama for €900,000 or whatever it is, sort of deal. Or,
But I guess it goes to show that we don't have to spend big money on a player if we get our scouting right and we find the right players and put them in the system that works for them. So, you know, it's not all about money.
All right.
But
the Celtic board has got to Dan.
Sorry, I've just got Peter Lawler in my ear.
Pete McGee,
you don't need to spend money.
Pete McGee, O'Reilly is as smart as he is talented and handsome. There you go.
I have heard that about myself as well.
That was you talking to yourself in the mirror, though, Jared.
He's being serious now. So.
That was his mate Stevie from Parkhead that told him that.
Hey, Stevie. Are we going to get a Stevie appearance on this one day?
This is Jared's pod, so it's up to him.
We'll figure it out. Don't want to, infringe on your intellectual property there, Jared. So we'll go from there.
Oh, dude, I've ripped it off completely from freaking Hamish's.
You're not meant to say that.
Hamish knows. He thinks it's hilarious.
Brilliant. So, have we gone on enough about winning the league yet, or do you want to just wax lyrical about individual players? I think we can do that for a bit and go from there. So, Willie, give me your top 2 performers of the last month.
Of the last month? Kuhn. I wouldn't say Kuhn anyway.
Good.
Go on, Willie.
For me, Matt O'Reilly stepped into his own this last month. He's put aside that little dip in form he's had, and he's just really shone through. And like I say, he's not even running around the pitch. He's floating from one place to the other. He's just a joy to watch. And the other player, there's a few players you could mention, but for me, Joe Hart has stepped up. I've been Joe Hart's biggest critic at the start of this season, and I'll say this last couple of months when we've needed Joe Hart to be there, Joe Hart's been there for us, and I'll take my hat off to the guy and say, look, I'm sorry. I kind of got it wrong with you at the start of the season. I thought you were too slow and getting too old, but you've shown over this last couple of months that you've been a player of real value to this team, Mike. So Joe Hart and Matt O'Reilly for me.
All right. So now you've taken them off the table, Willie. I'm going to go with Jamesy Forrest. I think he's been one of the form players in the league recently. And on the other side, they say you don't know what you got till it's gone. Well, with Maida being out for the season and then coming back in, I think he's got that bit of, and dyeing the hair, he's got that bit of a comment here from Pegleg. Where's the commie hat? That distracted me, but he's got that bit of a cult hero status now. So, those are my 2. Jared, I know you're bursting at the seams, so over to you for the next 2.
Wait, did you say that we're not allowed to say people that have already been said?
No, I just went to the next 2 down the list.
Right. Because I was going to say, if we're going to be...
you can't pick anyone that someone else has said. Because by the time it gets to me, I'm down to Stevie. I'm down to Stevie, the fucking kit man. But that's all right. He's been
he knows his place.
Since he learned his place, he's been sensational.
He knows his place, though. You know what I mean? He's a team player.
He's a good lad.
His role now.
He's a good lad. He's Celtic through and through.
All right. So the question was best players over the last couple of months?
Last month or so.
The last month or so. There only is 2. And I agree, Joe Hart. For me, Joe Hart has been the most consistent player for the whole season. I think he's been our only consistent player over the whole season for injuries and play and wherever. But the last month, O'Reilly and Forrest have just been stepped up, and I think they are the best players that we've had over the last month. But I'm not allowed to pick them. I just thought I'd say that. But I'm not allowed to pick them. Also, I'm doing a video soon called The Problem with Maeda. So I don't know if Andrew Galea is in the chat, but he's going to hate it. So who does that leave? Who else did you pick? So I got Forrest. Oh, yeah, and you picked Hart as well. So outside of that, I'm going to go with McGregor and CCV.
Cool.
Because of facts.
And Dan.
Adamita, obviously a goal today. Goal against
sensational
Mirren.
performance too.
I thought it was a fucking phenomenal performance, and anyone who didn't's off their chops. Goal against Samir, and had the goal at Ibrox as well. At what could have been a pretty shit time after going. Is that in the last month? Close enough. And beyond that, you've really left me scraping the barrel. You know what? Fuck it. Liam Scales. He cops all the shit in the world, but he turns up and gets the job done. And he had a hell of a great shot on goal. He looked a bit of a threat this morning. He looks like if you let him go a little bit too long, he's going to put the balaclava on and start singing fucking the Rebs. Like he's ready to go. I love it.
Happy days.
It was a good shot, but you're only picking him because he's another Ranger, aren't you?
Yeah, represent, mate. Irish
Rangers,
Catholic
yeah.
Rangers. We just get it done.
Smell the
You
gloves.
just saw
Got,
an sorry, Dad.
smell the gloves. Got one here. Only FIFA playing young wankers still think Palmer should start ahead of Maeda. I blame the parents. I blame the schools.
Palmer done well today. Watch out for him next season.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm more excited to see what pre-season, Jared.
Oh, just you freaking wait. Just you wait.
Peg Leg saying, yeah, sick of the anti-scales mob. Is this year's Starfelt? There always has to be one that just gets
I
picked
wish
on
he
for
was
no
Starfelt.
reason.
I remember
But
12 months ago, though,
You
everyone
threw
was
an
shitting on
honorary
Starfelt.
mention.
Guys,
out
can you stop talking over each other?
That's my job.
Yeah, Dan,
We should
shut
wait
up.
till- yeah, wait.
So, Dan, go on.
A year ago, everyone was shit. How many people would go and shit on Starfelt, and then he leaves, and it becomes Scales, and we're all hearing we need Starfelt back. I miss Starfelt, and it's like, as you said, there's always one. It's Scalesy or Greg Taylor at the moment. I think are the two that tend to be up for debate in the who do we shit on category. So, and look, Scalesy's not great, but he got us through a season. We won the league. We fucking move on. Hopefully we sign Salter Clark or whatever his name is, or someone great to fill his spot, and we never look back. But,
So
up the Ra, fucking whatever. Let's go.
I'll bring some comments on here. So we've got Pete McGee. No way Scales is as good as Starfelt. And he goes, we can't fault Scales for his effort, but we need an upgrade. And then Patrick saying all this scapegoat stuff started with Effie Ambrose. And then Patrick also goes, Ambrose, then it was Boyata, then it was Starfelt, now it's Scales. 100%. Jared, got anything to add?
I am glad Scales is with us. I'm glad he signed an extension, but we do need someone better. And it's like, oh, I don't know why Scales and Taylor are getting all the hassle. I was like, don't we every time go, oh, our left back area is our weakness? Maybe that could be why they're getting all the attacks.
I didn't
No,
say
shut
I
up, Dan.
don't know. I didn't say I
No,
don't
shut
know
up,
why
Dan.
they get shit on. I'm just saying they're the two. It's easy to shit on them. There's no
Yeah,
pushback when you
'cause,
shit
yeah.
on them.
But I do like them, and I think they should be part of the team. I just think someone better should be starting in front of them. They can rotate in because they do have a role to play.
Takes two to tango at the end of the day, Jared. The issue is teams are targeting the spot between left back and left centre back. So they're targeting, so it could be Scales in some situations, it could be Taylor. They target that area, so both of them need an upgrade for me.
Isn't that what it just said?
I don't know. I wasn't listening. I don't know why. I
Willie,
feel like
come on,
Willie's
say it.
sitting
You
there.
need to come. You need to save the pod.
Save the pod. How am I going to save the
I
pod?
was
Listen,
agreeing with you, Jared. You know. But anyway,
Yeah, that's what I was
Really?
like. I was like, that's what I thought. I was like, you just said what I said. Is that not what
No.
I said?
I was agreeing with you.
Right. All right. Good. Just the
And
way
then
you said
kicked
it
like
sounded
having
like.
a go.
listen.
Because
As it goes for players over the last month, an honorary mention needs to go out for James Tavernier. His assist for Maeda in the game at Ibrox was phenomenal. And again, at Parkhead the other week, as we threw ball straight to Matt O'Reilly. Perfect. Like, keep it up, James. We love it.
John Lundstrom also needs a special mention too for own goals and red cards.
It's not a red card.
And a medal.
It's never a red card.
It's never
Listen,
a red card.
It's never a red card. That's not a red card. Any day of the week, he was getting in. He's full-blooded. He went straight for the ball. He had his eyes on the ball at all times. Never a red card.
Hang on, I just saw.
No, it was a red
and I mean,
card unless it went to bar.
I'm in Sydney, but I just saw Kenny Miller walking down the street screaming "Never a red card." So he's still going, but credit to him. He doesn't let people tell him how to think. He doesn't think, but he doesn't let anyone tell him how to think.
Even his wife tucking
know
him
how
in the
to.
bed at night. Yes, it was definitely a red. It wasn't a red card, Kenny. You're right. Aye.
Yes, Kenny. Yes, Kenny. Oh, I can see to the letter when you start. I'm just going to say it. When you start your point with to the letter of the law, that's probably a red card, and then spend the rest of the next fucking week arguing why it shouldn't be a red card. You're a fucking moron.
It's damn, but it's like that. The whole saying, "Everything before the but is bullshit." That's pretty much that ties into that saying.
Yeah, you hear it all the time. Some of the shit they bang on with, you're like, you are just a bitter, haggard old fuck, and get it the fuck up, yeah. Him and Chris Boyd. Sorry,
and the rest of the BBC Sports Sound team, like, just get it right around you as you can. I tuned in after their Ross County defeat. You'd think somebody of significant importance inside the BBC Sports team had died the way they were talking. It was so somber. I was pissing myself laughing listening to the podcast. I listen to these cunts.
It's like a royal funeral procession.
Neil McCann, he's another fucking fan, isn't he? I know what the rules are, but I don't like it, so I think it should be changed. Aye, no bother.
Anyway, let's
getting angry here again. Stop it.
Willie's getting fired up. So let's go on to just talk about the weekend's game, Trophy Day against St Mirren at Celtic Park, I think. So are we going to see any weird like appearances, like a James McCarthy spotting or something like that, so he gets a trophy?
It's time.
Or are we going to have Siegrist in goal for a game so he gets a trophy? Hell no, you can't do that to Joe Hart. But are you going to have what are you thinking for the game?
Here's I've been thinking this since this morning, and not Siegrist. Fuck him off. But don't they have to play like 13 games or something to get an actual medal? Whatever. What I want to see is on the 90th minute, take Joe Hart off and put on Bain or whoever. I don't really care. Just so Joe Hart can get his own like applaud and retired. Like, it's the last league game he's ever going to play. Take him off on the 90th minute. Do a freaking guard of honor. That's all I want to see.
Fair enough.
I'm going different. I want Bain starting, and I want Joe Hart playing number 9. He can take all pens.
Bang in a hat trick.
Stephen Welsh, get him involved. I don't know who else. Lagerbielke, has anyone found him? Where's he at? Does he want to run around?
Get him and Kobayashi out there.
Kobayashi.
Isn't that the name of the tower that Die Hard 1 was in?
That was not Nagatomo.
It's Nakatomi. Yeah,
it's
called a joke. Yeah.
Really? For it to be a joke, it's got to be funny.
Yeah, not according to my stand-up.
That's why you get booed off stage every week, Jared.
I've seen Jared stand up, and it wasn't that bad. I've shat on him all night, so I'm going to throw a little one.
Oh yeah,
Throwing him a ball.
wasn't that bad.
Look at the bromance and the
Thanks,
bottom
Dan.
screens going on there. Like,
I had
you want to get a
I had
room
low
or what, boys?
expectations, but you were decent. You were decent.
Give him a cuddle. Pretend.
Like,
Willie, so what
That's
do you
right.
think? Any silly shit going to go on in the game on the weekend? Or just, what is it, just rehearsal for the cup final the following week?
I think you might see a couple of changes. I think you're right. We might get a little bit of a rest and Bernardo come in from the start. Awata as well. I would keep the same back five for the continuity and Ida up front, and I'd possibly put Palmer out on and Maida on the wings just to give Forrest a little bit of a rest ahead of the cup final. I would try and keep some legs fresh for the weekend after. It's party time. No matter win, lose or draw, it's party time there. So, I would make a couple of changes just to keep the squad ticking over. Just keep the minutes and the legs of players like I say, like Palmer and Bernardo, who might come into the game against Rangers in the week after that, like Awata as well. So, a couple of wee changes here and there, but nothing major.
Yep. So I'll bring up some comments there before we go through I think the starting lineup pretty much does itself. I think we'll rotate a few. I think it'll be Kun and Palmer starting on the wings with Ida up front. Give Jared wherever Jared's sitting, if he's at his desk or whatever, watching a computer, it's going to be wonky for a bit once he sees Kun on that team sheet. So he'll be a little bit excited there. But yeah, we'll just bring up some comments and then we'll get our score predictions for Trophy Day and end the pod with our final thoughts. So Jared and Dan, RL77 was asking, do you guys want to get a petrol station?
Anytime, anywhere.
People
I'm always up for a good pump.
Kobayashi was in the usual suspects. Patrick is saying rest no one on Trophy Day. Robert Gibson is Hart needs to sit in his 18-yard box with his pipe and slippers and the world's biggest beer. Well done, big man. Smell the glove. Rest a few on Saturday. Hampton's the priority. Give Joe Hart the captain's armband for his farewell. Yep.
I like that.
And then got some other comments from early on. What do we got here? Yeah, so this one here from John Cairns from early on. Can I raise a point, boys? We'll quickly go through this before that. 2021-2002, we speak 6 million on 3 players that made us European final. So what makes us think a squad player will improve us? We've made close. I have close at Parker who said Rogers is about fed up. Yeah, I've heard that, but I've also heard opposite, that he's pretty happy with what's going on behind the scenes now that certain people have left. So leave it there. Kevin Graham, morning comrades, going for 55. We're going for the unbroken, the undead 55. There we go. Hail, I think that's Keith there. So hail, mate. Thanks for tuning in. And well, score predictions for Trophy Day, and then we'll go to our final thoughts. So Dan, over to you.
Score prediction 7-0 Celtic with 5 goals by Greg Taylor.
Willie?
4-0 for me, 2 goals for Ida, 1 for Maeda, and another one for O'Reilly when he comes off the bench.
I'll go next, Jared, so you don't have to say it. We're gonna go 5-1. Kun 2. Palmer with 1. Awada scores 1, and Liam Scales scores a header. Over to you, Jared.
All right, who scores? I think Matt O'Reilly scores with 4 10s after the game.
That sounds like a down night for him.
That's just doesn't he just call that Wednesday?
I don't know. I don't really care. To be honest, I don't give a fuck. The league is over. We've already won. I just want people to come in and have fun. I want us to show that we don't need a league to freaking play well. I want everyone to just fucking yeah.
Massive
That's
party.
right. I want acid. No, I'm not.
Massive party.
I would like to see some changes though. Do you remember this guy named Holm? Apparently he was a up and coming midfielder that we got.
Sherlock.
Like, I would love to see Sherlock Holmes get a little bit of game time. Like, he's always there. He doesn't seem injured. Can we put him on and see what he's got?
I'm starting to think he's gone home.
Ooh.
Ooh. All right, everyone. Let's just get to our final thoughts to end the show. So,
Exactly,
Willie.
RL77. Who gives a fuck?
Yep. Willie, final thought.
Final thought, yeah. Brendan, you've redeemed yourself. I now officially revoke your rat title from your nickname. So,
Dan.
well done.
I went to ChatGPT again, but I thought I wanted to make it Ranger specific. So it's given me the beautiful quote, some days you're the pigeon, some days you're the statue. I guess Rangers are just the statue again.
Jared.
I don't know. I think that comment would have confused Willie. He's from New Zealand, and he's like, statue? Oh, yeah, statue, bro.
Statue?
That's a
No,
shit joke.
statue.
Yeah, statue.
How
Are
did
you
that
sure
get
you
all
watched?
up?
Are you
No.
sure it was his stand-up you watched that you enjoyed? Like,
I'm questioning.
No, he didn't say he enjoyed it. He said it wasn't bad. Didn't say it was good.
I said it wasn't that bad,
Wasn't that
which
bad.
in hindsight is a bit of a dig.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
It's getting worse, apparently, according to Robert Gibson.
So, my
Final thoughts. Nah,
my final
I got
thought.
nothing.
My final thought is pretty simple. It's one near and dear to me. My grandfather, the guy who got me onto Celtic growing up, passed away earlier this week. So that trophy's for you, Hammy, RIP. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Enjoy the party over there. Enjoy Trophy Day, and we will see you next week. Hail, hail.